Only new monsters in this video are ones shown in the trailers. Have you been having trouble with Sunbreak and dying a lot? Stop lying! I've been playing with y'all, and goddamn. No, I'm just playing. Everyone's a little rusty. Here's some tips to help lower your chances of quest failure. As we all know, I'm pretty amazing at video games, but I'm not very good at Monster Hunter. At least not compared to the experts. But I haven't been dying all that much, and you know why? Because I use the game mechanics. First up, pre-hunt damage reduction. How do you die? By taking damage. So reduce the amount of damage you take, better chance of staying alive. It's not complicated. Step 1, and I can't believe I have to say this, but here we are, make a new armor set. Your high rank armor is officially trash, stop using it. But Mr. Spaceman, I worked so hard on my high rank Crimson Valstrax Dragonheart set. Tough titties. Yes, more damage is great and will make the quest faster, but all that damage output isn't gonna help much if you die in 2 hits. Some of the earliest master rank armor sets are ridiculously easy to make. I did a couple MR1 quests and had enough materials for ingot and chainmail armor without even intentionally looking for the parts. You can gem in abilities you want by using decorations from previous sets you made. Chainmail armor already comes with defense boost level 7. Ingot armor comes with attack boost level 5, so I gemmed in 7 levels of defense boost and used it for almost all the Sunbreak key quests. Do they look kinda dumb? Yeah, but you know what looks even dumber? Dying because your defense was too low. I only later switched to Gormagala for the fashion, and because of one of my favorite monsters. It certainly wasn't for these Garbaggio abilities. What the fuck? Examples of abilities that might help you stay alive are Defense Boost, Divine Blessing, Evade Window, Evade Extender, Stun and Paralysis Resistance. This is a green screen, I don't know what I'm pointing at. Step 2, use the skewer. When you're eating before each quest, press the minus button to upgrade your top 2 Dango, with the third one being downgraded. First Dango you pick, Dango Defender High. It randomly decreases the damage you take. Skewering this one will make it activate all the time. You basically just quadrupled your defense. You have to do some side quests and base rides to upgrade it from low to high. I forget which one. Spot of tea in it. Okay, in the second slot you want Dango Moxie. Keep your health above the yellow arrows and you won't die. A move that would kill you will instead keep you alive at like 1 health. The only monster this won't work against is S Penis's Poison Paralysis Fireballs, because they'll drop to 1 HP and then the poison will finish you off while you're paralyzed. In the third slot, I don't know, Dango Fighter or Booster or Medic or the corresponding elemental resistance if you know what monster you're about to fight. There's also Self-Kelp Dango Defender, which is different from Dango Defender High. You'd think they would have named it Dango Protector or something. Basically, the next hit you take does less damage after you take a set amount of damage. You unlock Dango Defender Medium by doing the Crab quest. It first appeared while I was playing in the lobby with Cormor and Vasco Games, and I was like, how you get a Dango? And they were both like, I never seen a Dango before in my entire life. Great, thanks guys. But Mr. Spaceman, the ability activation rates are too low. I want to activate the Dango. I don't know, my dog's Italian. Pizza pasta. Slap on a Dango ticket to bring your percentages up to basically guaranteed. How do you get more Dango tickets? Just cook your meat. Final step, bird up. Do not let me catch you out here dying in Monster Hunter when you ain't even been playing the real game, Burb Hunter. Before rushing to the monster just to die, increase your stats by eating birds. All birds are tasty, especially with some Old Bay, but green birds increase your health and orange birds increase your defense, so get those ones. Look at all that health I got. I even used the wrong pedal ace because I'm a big Dumbo. Use this one for max health. You can usually find birds in high places because they are birds. You can also chop down bushes, hammer bushes, and weed whack bushes with your gun to find more birds. There's a nice spot you can great wire bug to from the start of the jungle with a bunch of birds and bushes to munch on, like a ecological Popeyes. There's also an early rampage decoration to sometimes double spirit bird effects, so that'll make collecting birds even faster, almost as if they wanted you to use it. If you are afraid of taking too long to get to max burbage, you can either make the quest yourself and find birds while other people join, or collect a bunch of birds along the way to the monster. It might take you an extra minute or 2 to get to the monster, but reasonable people would rather you get birds and stay alive instead of rush to the monster and die. Look, if anyone gives you crap about getting birds instead of flooring it to the monster, send them to me, I'll talk to them. That also being said, if you're hopping into someone else's quest, maybe hustle and get the birds, have an idea where some of the birds are. You know, there's a big difference between I'm gonna gather a few things along the way to the monster and I'm gonna take 15 minutes to show up to the monster in someone else's else's quest. I'm only bringing this up because this happened to me a couple of times where people join the quest but barely help. Maybe I was just unlucky, maybe they got a phone call, but I don't know. Is that fun? Isn't the fun part of Monster Hunter hunting the monsters? Use the Radial menu to heal. Even with your weapon drawn, you can select an item via the Circle of Life and it'll sheath your weapon automatically. Also, swap out First Aid Med with First Aid Med Plus, since that's what's in the box for G-Rank quests. I already made a whole video on healing options in Rise. I like to think it's pretty good. I don't know, I worked really hard on it. And I don't want to repeat too much of what I said there, so I'll link it at the end of this video. But something else I've mentioned before is using a healing cat with healing abilities. I got Ferdinand von Eyre over here being our team's guardian angel in every quest. Rest in peace, Billy. Make sure you hire one with many healing abilities, like Health Horn, Bubbles, Mystical Hookah. If none of them have the good stuff, then do a quest and re-roll the gacha. And don't be afraid to fast travel back to camp and restock your potions and life powder and just the life between rounds of fighting. Again, I think most reasonable people are okay with the quest taking a little bit longer rather than rushing and dying and failing. You know, the game doesn't expect you to dodge everything and never get hit. Otherwise, there wouldn't be potions, or a defense stat, or health. Check your teammates' health and status too. Even with Dango Moxie, many deaths happen when you're stunned and can't heal, unless you're fighting a Kulu Yaku. You can straight up buy life powder now, so I don't want to hear any excuses. Also, there's armor powder, use that too. You can also assign a sticker to the Radial menu in case you get paralyzed or poisoned or on fire or all of the above and need emergency triage. It's a shared death pool, you know? We ride together, we die together. Bad at Monster Hunter for life. Pro tip, shield. Consider wielding a weapon with a shield. Or if you already do, consider using the shield. Korra, Lance, Gun Lance, Charge Blade, Sword and Shield, Heavy Bowgun, and Greatsword kinda, all have the ability to block. You don't have to perfectly time a dodge. For most of them, face the monster, hold the right trigger, and you'll take little to no damage. For weapons without shields, my advice is to prioritize using safer moves. These moves don't make you invincible, however, it is less likely you'll get hit and die while using them. For example, dual blades. Equip Demon Flight, activate Demon Mode, and press A twice next to the monster to Levi your way across its back. It's pretty safe. Switch Axe. When you're in the amped state, which happens when you do a lot of sword moves in a row, you can press X and A to hop on a monster and explode inside of them for a lot of damage. It's possible to still take damage depending on which body part you are discharging into, but it is a lot less likely. Insect Glaive. This is what I've been using for pretty much all of Sunbreak. Get the red juice and use the pole vault helicopter combo. Most monster attacks are on the ground because that's where most hunters are, so I've been vaulting over those attacks that would have done a ton of damage. Attacks don't just have to be for damage, they can also be for movement. So along the same vein, light bowgun and bow, you can do the jumpy move to dodge. And for weapons with counter moves, and I want to make sure you guys in particular are hearing this, just because your weapon has a counter move does not mean you have to try to counter every move. You can dodge and heal. Please, longsword players, just drink a potion! You can always have one wire bug ready and a wire fall away from the monster, rather than trying to hop back into battle. And if your weapon's already sheathed, you can quickly use the wire bug slide to dodge attacks really fast. In general, you're safer away from the monster than closer to it. There are obvious exceptions though. Now here are some tips from old school Monster Hunter games that can still work here. Monster Hunter Rise is more player focused than enemy focused, like in older games. You don't really have to learn all the monster's moves unless you're speedrunning, but some general advice for you blocking bros and counter counts and dodging dudes is, if a monster is winding up to do an attack, it's about to do an attack. If you get hit and go flying through the air and land on your back, play dead. You don't have to stand up immediately. You're mostly invincible while you're starfishing, so you can just lay there for a few seconds until it's safe. Another technique that's a little obsolete due to the wire bug but still in the game, the Superman dive. If you're running away from the monster with great posture, you can press the dodge button to do a dive instead, and you're invincible while diving for your life. Use traps. Traps aren't just for people who come to your quest and capture everything without asking first. They're also great for just holding a monster in place to do a ton of damage. They're really helpful if you're using the new firework bomb move that does like 1,000 damage but takes 15 years to set up. Every new Sunbreak monster, except for Malzeno, Shigeru Magala, and the final boss, can be held in place with a trap. Works especially great on those red monsters. Y'all know which ones I'm talking about. Anyways, that's all I got. Obviously play the game however you want. These are just some tips. If you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe for more Monster Hunter and more videos on other games. Comment below any tips you have to help people people play better in Sunbreak, and that's it, video's over.